Welcome to Reiki Rising, a podcast dedicated to the transformative power of Reiki and the journey of spiritual awakening. I'm your host, Raven Waterblossom, your guide on this path to healing, self-discovery, and inner peace. Here, we explore the depths of energy healing, mindfulness practices, and how to align with the flow of life's natural rhythms. Whether you are a seasoned practitioner or just beginning your Reiki journey, this space is for you. Join me as we rise together, embracing the light within and around us. Let's begin our journey. Hello, friends, and welcome back to Reiki Rising. And if it's your first time here, hello again. Thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in to listen. Today's episode is about my journey to discovering Shamballa. This is a unique energy healing modality, and it's become such a central part of my life and my personal practices and what I share with others. So if you have been curious about Shamballa, you've heard me talk about it. If this is not your first time here, you've heard me share a little bit about this practice and what sets it apart. I'll be talking more about that today, and maybe you're on your own journey in the world of energy healing. So whatever's bringing you here, this episode is for you. I want to begin this episode by talking about my initial exploration of Reiki. When I first stepped into the spiritual community here in Spokane, I was searching for a practice that really aligned with me on a deeper level. Reiki kept coming up in conversations. I, started following different spaces, different communities here, and I was seeing a lot of different trainings happening, and I heard about it, a lot about Reiki through the space, the teacher that I was ultimately did my yoga teacher training through, Taylor Ring at Abide Yoga. They're no longer in Spokane anymore, and I'm not sure if he's still doing trainings, but I was attending yoga classes, and there was Reiki training happening here and there, and some of the other yoga practitioners that I was practicing with were talking about Reiki and going through their teacher training and their Reiki training. So it was all around me. I had decided that I was going to do my yoga teacher training through the same teacher, and I was lucky enough to have Reiki as a part of my teacher training for that cohort. So that was something that, I really was interested in, and ultimately, I wanted to take this teacher training because I wanted to deepen my practice with yoga. As I've talked about before, this has been a lifelong journey from a adolescent child in high school, using this practice, primarily for fitness, over the years, in and out of my yoga practice, but it was changing, and I wanted to really deepen that practice and commit to this as more of a lifestyle, a practice of way of living. So that's why I was called to this teacher training, because it was really, a soul calling, essentially, that was drawing me there. And I started my yoga teacher training, and when we got to the Reiki part of the training, I had never had a Reiki session before. I had never even experienced Reiki, but it was something that was really kept coming up for me. And I try to pay attention to those synchronicities when things just seem to align and fall into place. That's, kind of my guidance towards where I need to be. And this was something that was just so interesting to me, and felt really true on a soul level. But I had never had a Reiki session. I had never experienced what Reiki even felt like. because for me, trusting someone at that point in my life with my energy was a big leap. It's honestly still something that I continue to work on. But as I learned more about Reiki, something really clicked. And as I experienced it, that really deepened more. And then I really just felt like I had to follow this path, and that this was something that was really meant to be shared with others. My intention initially was a practice that would help me find balance, to ground, and to grow on my journey. I didn't really have plans to hold space for others, to teach Reiki, or to teach yoga. I just wanted something that would support me. But as soon as I went through this training, I felt that pull, and I knew that energy healing and that Reiki was a gift, and that it's meant to be shared. And so I was so nervous. I started working with clients because I thought, okay, I'm just, after, getting my attunements and doing my training for Usui Reiki 1 and 2, and I began working with that energy. It was a bit before I was confident in it to see clients, and even then I still wasn't confident in it. And there was still this whole period where I was just kind of really trusting that this energy was flowing. I was still working with it and letting it be a part of my personal practice, as well as now sharing it with others, with this handful of people. And those clients, you're still with me. Thank you for continuing. You have seen and witnessed this practice shift from its birth to this ongoing journey of deepening and strengthening this connection. So that's what I'm sharing here today, and just full of gratitude for those that have been with me from the beginning. Thanks for letting me share this with you in all the ways. And I have, a couple of clients who have, now gone through training with me or through workshops. And yeah, I love sharing this modality, and I'm really excited to continue this practice and to really teach this to others and share this practice with the community here and online. In those early sessions, I want to come back to this, I could feel this was really the beginning of everything. Really, there was so much more. I wasn't confident, I would say, in feeling what it felt like to share Reiki. And I think I was trying to fit it into a box, which is kind of how I ended up feeling about the lineage of Usui Reiki, and about those first attunements. It felt like it was too structured, and I was so called to just lean into my intuition in sessions and really let it guide me, let Reiki guide me, let the energy guide me, and not try to guide the energy. So that's really what led me to start looking at other energy healing practices, and looking at other levels of Reiki, other lineages of Reiki. So Reiki is the term that was given to this energy healing system created by Mikao Usui. And it was something that was channeled energy that came through, guidance, that this needed to be shared, and that it was so helpful for people. But what I know to be true in my heart is that this is a practice that is not confined to time. It is not confined to one lineage, one person, one system of this practice. And I came to feel really restricted by those terms. But as soon as I started opening up my heart and my mind to allow this guidance to come forward, to keep exploring. And I started exploring and realizing that it was okay to let go of that structure and to lean into that being kind of a foundation, but something to build on. And that's really when I started to feel the energy of Reiki. Started to feel that come through and be aware of what it felt like to share Reiki and to also feel it within me. And everybody's experience is completely different. There's no two identical people, and there are no two identical ways to experience this practice. So for me, I started to feel it in one way, and over time this has really shifted and changed. And the more that I lean into the idea that this is more expansive than what was originally shared or what was originally taught to me and to so many people, the more I built a relationship with it. So I kept thinking in the beginning that because I need to share this, I need to be a Reiki master. And it made sense logically to continue with the original lineage so that I'd already done level 1, level 2. I'd been practicing for a while and I was really wanting to further my practice, but there were some things that, that initially, the levels of training initially didn't resonate with me from the start, because it seemed kind of like very rigid. You have to do this and then practice for this long and then do this and check these boxes and then, do this additional training. And that system itself seemed so rigid. It just wasn't resonating with me. And I was seeing all of these offerings for trainings, and some of them to me were wildly inaccessible financially to be resourced to do these trainings. And that was another, thing for me that just felt like maybe this isn't the right thing for me to do. Maybe this isn't the right lineage for me. So I would, think about, I'm going to sign up for this training. I'm going to do this. And then something would just be nagging at me. And so I just let it go. I surrendered. I said, when the situation appears and when the situation presents itself, that's when it'll work for me. But in the meantime, I really did lean into trusting my intuition in these sessions and really working with that and building a relationship with my intuitive insight and readings of people during the sessions. And that's always been something that's been optional, to share that feedback that comes through for clients. Some people don't necessarily want to know that part of it, and that's okay. But I've pretty much created a group of clients that are interested in those things. And that really speaks to the people who are meant to be in alignment with you, or meant to be sharing space with you and connecting on any level, are the people who are meant to be your people, and not in a possessive way of your people, but we attract the energy that we resonate at. So, or that we reside at. So your people will find you. If you're a new Reiki practitioner, if you are just starting out and you're nervous and you're trying to figure out, like, how do I get clients? They're going to find you. They will find you. Just keep doing it. Keep sharing your light. Keep moving forward in the direction that your intuition calls you to, and your people will find you. I guarantee that. Speaking from experience, that's what happened for me. So I had been working with clients for a while, and I was still seeing, I'm on all these different websites, newsletters, different ways of receiving information. So I'd see all these emails come through or ads on whatever. And I think it was actually an ad on Facebook where I found like a Shamballa multi-dimensional healing training. And I was like, I don't know. And so I started reading more about it, and not particularly that person who was doing the training, but about what this was, because it was one that I hadn't really heard of before. So as I started looking at it, what really resonated with me at the start was how it was empowering to practitioners and to the people that were coming in for these sessions, teaching them to tune into their inner wisdom and to explore the healing from different dimensions, which really resonated with me and stuck with me because that's how I approached my own practice. And I felt so empowered by that in this last 7 years of this journey of, this is something that, I really want to empower other people. I don't want to be somebody that people feel they depend on me. I want them to walk away from a session and, if that is what they feel called to, if it feels like, one client says it's like a monthly tune-up. So if that's what feels good to you, then do it. But I really want people to feel like they can take tools away from their sessions, and whether that's just a visualization or learning about energy centers in their body, learning about chakras, learning about how we store energy in our body. If that's the knowledge they take away, that's empowering. If they can take that into their life and into their own journey. So that's what really drives this practice. And that's what Shamballa really focuses on. It's empowering people, and this idea that those systems that were so closed off from people, it served a purpose at, a certain time, but we're in different times. This is a time where we need more light. We need more loving awareness, more loving energy, more guidance and healing and growing from within, not giving our power away to any one thing. And that's so important here. With Shamballa, it's like we're not giving our power to this system of Reiki or this system of energy healing. We're not giving our power away to an individual that is our healer. I can't emphasize this enough, but you are the healer. And I tell clients that all the time. I'm just here holding space. And this energy that comes through is here holding space and connecting you with the loving presence and the life force energy that is already within you. So that's what I loved about Shamballa as I started, and what really drew me to doing training. And while it still has these same levels of training, which over time, obviously, my practice with Reiki shifted my understanding of why it takes a little more time to work with this energy through my own experience. And the level of responsibility there is here to hold space for other people in a way that practices non-harming, practices this idea of our ethics. We're doing this not for our own betterment, but for empowering others. And that's another layer of Shamballa that was really a part of the reason why I chose this modality. On top of that, as I started training in Shamballa, I was seeing that this was something I was already doing. I didn't have the additional symbols, which with Shamballa, there are over 300 symbols. But I did have a book that I had picked up called Magic of Reiki, and it had all these other symbols that I didn't know about, but I was learning about them. I wanted to learn where they came through. Different Reiki practitioners had channeled these symbols, and I would really feel like as you become attuned and awakened to this energy, because it's a knowledge that we already have, believing beyond time and space into this place of collective consciousness. We are tapping into the same energy. So whatever modality you're doing, it doesn't matter if it's Usui Reiki, it doesn't matter if it's Shamballa or angelic or whatever, any other lineage of Reiki, we're tapping into that same consciousness. We're tapping into that same energy. So I came to feel that, this was really a journey of awakening others to this energy through sessions, through group shares, through training, which took me a while to feel confident in training. And honestly, I still get nervous every time. And I don't know why. I just get a little nervous because I think it's, I'm sharing something so special with you, and if you're training with me, and it's something that is so powerful, and I just want to do it justice, and I want to do you justice by making sure that you're so equipped for this. But the other thing that I love about Shamballa is that it's such a high frequency energy that you're working with. It really doesn't, you can learn so much more in a shorter amount of time. It has the structure and is kind of adapted from Reiki, from Usui Reiki. But the energy is so much older than that. And the system of Usui Reiki or Holy Fire Reiki is really fixated on this energy that was discovered by the founder. This energy was remembered by him, is what I truly believe. And then I feel like, it just became so westernized after coming to America and being taught here. And it was initially also kind of inaccessible. And again, that didn't resonate with me. It felt very rooted in patriarchy and capitalism. And that has never sat well with me. So I do try to offer these trainings at an energy exchange, an investment that is accessible for most people. If you are interested in a training after listening to this episode, I do one-on-one attunements and trainings in person and online individually, and every couple of months I do hold a training in person. I may at some point do a group training online. The online offerings are a little less because you don't get that in-person experience to practice with each other hands-on. So I do try to create some space for that awareness. But I do have one this month, so wait till the end. I'll talk more about it. But I really, do feel like this is supposed to be shared, and Shamballa is more accessible. It's based more in your intuition, which is what we should all be really building a relationship with, not a rigid system. And there are hand placements, and how this differs is you're really guided to use the practices that you feel called to use during a session. It may be different each time with that same person. It's different between one person to the next. The more I've built this practice. So I really just want to share this frequency with people, share this in a way that's accessible. I mentioned before that it's 300 symbols. That's when you get to the last level of training. You get attuned to all of those symbols, but you aren't going to memorize them all, nor do you need to. Again, coming into intuition, this is really, you will know what symbols resonate with what client, and when your body and your energy is aligned with utilizing those symbols. There's, a few that really resonated with me that I kind of stick to, but there are more. Sometimes I'm challenged with digging a little deeper into that knowledge and asking what serves here, what serves for this client, what serves for this situation. And really, you don't have to do much. If you just set that intention that however this flows through is going to be for their greatest good, because at the base of all of this is love. It's loving energy. It's a connection to everything that exists, and it's so expansive. It can be utilized to journey into different areas of the past, the present, the future, different timelines. Sometimes I'll have clients who want to work with a different timeline, past life experiences or childhood experiences, and they find the root of this wound or this place that is imbalanced, and that they're holding on to something that's, from a different timeline. So we can utilize this energy in a way that heals those parts, that empowers the client to travel into these spaces, to cross dimensions, essentially to heal these deeper places within them. And that's what's so powerful about Shamballa. It calls on our guides, it calls on ascended masters, it calls on cosmic energy. We're invited to tap into these guides and energies and really make this our own multi-dimensional practice. It's not about following that strict protocol. It's more about just allowing this intuition to guide the healing process. It's transformative not only for you as a practitioner or as somebody who receives energy, it's transformative on your own spiritual journey, because the more you connect with this, the more you open up to that intuition, you'll notice that you strengthen your connection to your guides, to ascended masters who help guide this energy during sessions. Sometimes you'll feel the presence here of guides helping, either for the client or for you, to help assist you in these sessions. It's really helped me trust those intuitive visions and tap into my clair abilities, my clairsentience, clairaudience, that we all have. And that's really it. We all have this within us, and it's just an awakening. It's just an awakening to this collective energy that we can all tap into it. So my experience with training in Shamballa was based in curiosity and being open to whatever came my way. It felt very grounding, very true, and it wasn't something that was very rigid, that I felt like I had to follow this certain path. It left more space to find my own way with it, which was really freeing and really empowering. Instead of trying to memorize everything, I could just memorize what resonated, what was supposed to be used during that time was supposed to be used, and trust that on a deep level. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to share today. I just really want to talk about this because I feel like it is so powerful, and a lot of people have questions about Shamballa Reiki or Shamballa energy healing because it's not as well known. And it is a different kind of healing experience. It's less about directing the sessions and more about creating space and holding space for you all to connect with the healer within you. You are the healer. So I hope that you feel empowered by this. If you are a new Reiki practitioner and you are trying to find your footing, trying to learn, trying to see what works for you, there are so many different lineages, and there's not a lot about Shamballa out there. So I hope that sharing my experience and sharing how this is special helps you to honor your journey. So if it resonates with you, please explore Shamballa further. Feel free to ask me any questions, to book a session, to experience this for yourself. I am doing a Shamballa Reiki Level 1 training on November 23rd. This month. So if that's something that you were curious about attending in person, I would love to have you. There are 3 spots available as of right now. If it's a 5-hour training from 12 to 5 p.m. This gives you the basic understanding of Shamballa Reiki, the history of it, the history, little bit of a history about Usui Reiki as well, since it's an adaptation of this. We talk about Ascended Masters. You learn the hands-on healing for self-Reiki, which is so powerful as a practice for myself and for others. It's just such a great way to incorporate some mindfulness into your day, as well as cultivate those skills of knowing your body from the inside out and trusting your intuition in that. So it includes that, as well as hands-on placement for others. And we talk a little bit about distance Reiki as well, and you become attuned to those first 4 symbols, which gives you the ability to practice on others, yourself, animals, furry friends, whoever. So I love doing these trainings. It's been wonderful being able to share this with people this year, and I'm going to continue to do them. If that training does not work for you logistically, either you are not here local in Spokane, or that time and day does not work, there is an option to just do a one-on-one training with me at any time. You can find that in my booking site. I'll be linking all of this in the show notes. But if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. You can find me in the Reiki Rising Patreon community. You can find me on social media, Raven Water Blossom. I can't wait to connect with you. And I hope that you join me for a training or a session, or just chat. Thanks for being here, friends. Have a wonderful day.